you've used up your one card for a venture funding announcement.
Yes, I think that's the only one actually. So here's something that's a complete change of direction. Um, More on the organizational side, or does this come under AI politics or AI organization? Probably a bit of across the two. But the Department of Defense, the US Department of Defense, I will say, because we've got an international audience, has their AI operations office, and they've named a chief digital and artificial intelligence officer who says they're looking for somebody, but interestingly, that their CIO has stepped into that role temporarily, which shows that they're very serious about it, which they should be, and obviously are. But I think that's interesting. And what I found interesting is, one, they've got this chief AI officer, but two, they're very focused and professional on building this AI office within the Department of Defense. It's entirely unsurprising in the military context, but typical of the U.S. military, they do things very professionally. So they're kind of spearheading there. So that for me was an interesting article.
So this is something that would be interesting to Dan Fagella, who you and I both know, and in fact I think we met through. And I don't know if you listened to it, but he did a really good podcast with Steve Blank, who needs no introduction to most people. And Steve is a passionate observer and former participant in the military space here in the United States, as well as a well-written, let's say, author in the entrepreneurial space, and is still based out of Stanford, I think. And they had a really interesting talk about kind of the state of AI in the US military. And Steve had some really, really funny and interesting and painful comments about that. So yeah, you should definitely flag that, send it over to Dan. I think he would very much appreciate it.
So the interesting part for me was talking to people in enterprise, because obviously the focus here is how does this apply to enterprise? And I think the key there is look what the military is doing. So very much what they do often translates over into the enterprise. So it's interesting to see they've got a real focus on this.